Here we go now.
Hello, Legalites! I am Ange Medina, and you are watching Legal Life, the boldest legal magazine show online. Dito lang sa The Bolder Channel. Welcome to the program, Legalites. Dito sa Legal Life, pag-uusapan natin ang mga mahalaga na papanahong legal issues at makikilala natin ang iba't ibang personalidad at character ng ating mga legal professionals. Be informed, be inspired sa kanilang mga kwento. Nalalapit na ang filing ng Certificate of Candidacy for people who wants to run for public office in next year's May 9 national election. And in fact, a lot have already signified their intention to run for office. Nalalapit na din ang deadline ng voters registration which is set on September 30. Ang tanong ng marami, may extension pa bang ibibigay ang COMELEC para sa gustong magpa-register for the next national election? Kaya ngayong gabi, sasamahan tayo ni Attorney Francis Benedict Reyutotar from the Precincts and Voting Centers Division ng COMELEC. Good evening, Attorney Francis. How are you?
Hello to our charming host, Panyera. Attorney Ange Medina,
Good
and
evening,
siyempre
sir.
sa ating mga viewers, good evening, magandang gabi, naimbag gabi. And thanks for having me.
It's our privilege, sir, to have you here and naimbag nga rabi, sir. So, sir, bago natin pag-usapan yung tanong tungkol sa extension ng period of registration kasi yun talaga yung gusto ng ating mga viewers na masagot, ano? Talakayin muna natin ano nga ba yung voters registration at anong mga proseso yung included dito, Attorney Francis.
Okay. When we talk about voters registration, this is the act of accomplishing and filing of a sworn application by a qualified voter before the office of an election officer in the city or the municipality where he resides. And then pag inapprove na yung application na yon ng Election Registration Board or yung tinatawag nating ERB, then yung voter would be deemed as a registered voter, mapapasama na siya sa Book of Voters at makakaboto na siya for the upcoming elections. So basically, ganun lang yung ating voter registration process. And although we talk about voters registration, during the registration period, hindi lang yung new applications for voting yung kinikater natin dito sa COMELEC, no? We also accept yung mga applications for reactivation, yung mga na-deactivate na voters or transfer, correction of entries. For example, ipapakorrect yung civil status or mag-change ng surname from single to married or a combination of these last three. Pwedeng transfer with reactivation, transfer with correction, you know. So, multifaceted ang ating registration process.
Oh, I see. Kasi yung iba, akala nila when we talk about voters registration, mga bagong mga botante lang yung kasama doon sa proseso na yon. But as you discussed at Attorney Francis, it also involves yung reactivation, yung mga dalawang botohan na hindi bumoto. Tama po ba?
Basically, oo. Pwedeng mangyari yun, ma-reactivate ka. Ma-de-deactivate ka due to that reason.
So reactivation, it includes transfer at pati yung mga gustong may ipabago doon sa kanilang voters information na nasa COMELEC. Tama, sir?
For example, yung place of residence or nagkamali yung nailagay na, for example, sex or even age.
I see. So madami palang proseso or madaming tao talaga yung kinikater ng COMELEC under that process na tinatawag nating voters registration. Sir, bakit nga ba importante na magrehistro at bumoto yung mga Pilipino this upcoming May 9 election?
Definitely, no. Under the law kasi, ang purpose talaga ng ating voters registration is to establish a clean, complete, permanent and updated list of voters. Yung walang nadodoble-doble, yung assured tayo na kung sino yung mga nakalista doon, sila yung may qualification talaga para bumoto for the elections. And of course, definitely napaka-importante yung ating pag-exercise ng right to vote. We will discuss that siguro later. Pero ayan, part ng ating pagiging Pilipino, kailangan nating bumoto talaga.
Tama, ako I second that motion that it's our responsibility as Filipinos to really register, of course, and vote because without being registered, hindi ka naman makakaboto in next year's election. So sir, sagutin na natin yung kanilang pinakaaabangan nilang tanong, 'di ba? So as of now, magkakaroon ba ng extension ang ating voters registration which is ang deadline na is September 30, tama po?
Okay. So, the COMELEC has set September 30 as the last day for filing of applications for registration. And bago natin sagutin yan, siguro bibigyan kita ng mga datos or data regarding yung nangyaring registration process natin simula nung nag-resume tayo after the 2019 national and local elections. You know,
Yes, sir. Please.
we have a department called the Election Records and Statistics Department dito sa COMELEC. They projected around 4 million new applicants for the May 2022 elections. And then when we resumed in 2019, and then hanggang ngayon, medyo papalapit na yung last day of filing ng applications, we achieved over 7.28 million applications na na-process na. So that's na-meet na natin yung quota natin na 4 million. Actually, as early as August of last year, August 2021, na-meet na natin yung 4 million na projection ng new applicants. Of course.
Halos madodoble na pala, no? If the
Halos
projection...
madodoble na, yes. Oo, tama.
4 million and we have 7.28 million
process applications. Of which, of which 6.76 million dito ang mga new additional voters, including talaga yung mga nagpa-register for the first time, yung mga na-extract na SK records, diba? Yung mga SK natin, nag-register sila as SK, and when they turn 18, ma-extract yung records nila, magiging regular voters na din sila without need for filing a new application. So 6.76 new additional voters, marami yan, Ange, no? Medyo marami rin yan, no?
Sir, so what I get...
our elections.
Oo nga eh. So what I get from your explanation is that yung mga dating rehistrado na under the SK elections, there's no need for them to go to the COMELEC and register again because you have your efficient process kung saan yung kanilang registration is automatically papasok na.
Yes, tama. Oo, as soon as they reach yung voting age natin para sa regular elections, which is 18 on the day of the elections. Tama yun, Ange. And having said that, siyempre maraming mga suggestions, maraming mga proposals pa rin na nare-receive yung COMELEC urging us to extend yung voters registration. Pero of course, yung COMELEC naman, we have carefully studied and considered all the possibilities of extending beyond September 30. Pero so far, as of now, the trend is COMELEC believes na kung may extension na mangyayari, it would greatly affect yung timelines natin for all those pre-election and election activities. Kasi yung pag-conduct natin ng elections, especially a national and local elections sa bayan, no? It entails a lot of activities like you will load electoral data in the EMS, kakaroon ng procurement, delivery of machines, certifications, lab tests, mock elections, random manual audits, ang dami niyan, field test, printing of ballots pa, deployment, and of course, pati yung filing ng COC or yung Certificate of Candidacy, maapekto yan, uurong yan kapag nag-adjust din yung natin period of filing for applications ng registration natin. So it would seem na yung extension would affect talaga itong timelines natin for elections. Pero para pa rin ma-encourage yung mga hindi pa nagre-register, yung COMELEC has provided for other measures like in-increase na natin yung days and yung hours ng ating registration period. For weekdays, naging 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. na, and for Saturdays and holidays, meron na din, no? Naging 8 to 5 p.m. na din tayo during Saturdays and holidays.
Weekends and holidays.
Okay. Para mapadami pa natin yung 7.26 ba yung sinabi ko? 7.26 million na additional registrants, no? Aside from that, nagkakandak din tayo ng satellite registrations in barangay, schools, and some malls. For this upcoming elections, 3 major mall establishments ang nakipag memorandum of understanding with the COMELEC
Mhm.
for us to use their premises as registration venues. So napaka-convenient 'yon for our applicants kasi accessible, convenient, and of course
Yes.
beneficial din 'yon para sa mga shops sa malls and sa mga employees doon kasi yung mga registrants natin potential customers din 'yan. So makakatulong din 'yan to uplift our economy especially in this trying times, no? Oo. And of
Oo
course
nga, parang
tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung
oo, parang
yes.
hitting two birds, no? So we make the registration very easy and efficient kapag sa mall ginawa, and at the same time binubuhay natin yung economy and the industry kasi yung mga tao they would go to the mall. Yes sir.
Yes, and of course, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung campaign and info drive natin. Ito, napaka-effective talaga ever since nag-resume tayo ng registration. Kasi biruin mo kahit may pandemic, may lockdowns, yung mga potential na mag-18 during the time of election, hindi pa pinapalabas last year, di ba? Kasi bawal yung below 18. Pero despite all that, effective yung naging campaign drive natin. Ang dami pa rin nating nahikayat na magpa-rehistro.
So, sir, as of now, ang deadline pa rin natin is September 30 because considering yung pwedeng ang mangyaring delay kung sakaling i-extend. But we are still open. Depende kung anong mangyari in the next few days kung sakaling i-extend yung ating voters registration. Tama ba, sir?
Yes, for now, September 30, 2021, ang ating last day of filing applications for registration.
Yes, kasi syempre hindi lang yung yung magkakaroon ng botohan or makaboto ang madaming tao, but we should balance it also doon sa kailangan nating siguraduhin that the election would be orderly, 'di ba? So, kung sakaling kung pwedeng hindi magkaroon ng delay, hindi magkakaroon ng delay. But I'm very happy to hear, I think everyone's happy to hear na very eager yung ating mga kabataan and karamihan ng mga Pilipino na talagang mag-register and to vote for next year's national elections. So, sir, maliban doon sa you mentioned earlier there were some challenges because of the lockdown restrictions, 'di ba? Maliban doon sa challenges na 'yon, may mga iba pa bang challenges na kinaharap yung COMELEC upang in the voters registration that's currently happening?
I think most of the challenges na nakaharap natin nag-ugat pa rin sa ating pandemic, no? Kasi biruin mo, medyo mas mahirap ngayon ng registration process. Pagpunta mo pa lang sa registration venue, and of course yung number of people na kayang i-accommodate ng ating mga registration venues at a time, medyo mahirap, no? Pati yung mga protocols na sinusunod natin, medyo nagbabagal din ng konti yung yung pag-register ng isang ng botante. So, pero despite that, naitaguyod pa rin natin. So, I'm also very happy about that, Ange.
Sir, you mentioned that there is a limit as to the number of registrations or people that could be accommodated by the COMELEC because of the pandemic, sir. So, currently, ano ba yung limit na meron tayo ngayon as to voters registration? Ilan ba talaga yung ma-accommodate ng ating mga COMELEC offices and the satellite offices that we've put up sa ating mga malls?
Kahit nung hindi naman pandemic, nung mga past registration schedules natin, may limit pa rin yan kasi we only have so much number of hours in a day. And of course, yung pag-register, mabusisi din yan kasi it's a sworn application. I-evaluate yung application mo. Kukunan ka din ng biometrics like photograph, yung mga fingerprints, pati signature, digital signature. So, mahaba-habang proseso din yan, no? Pero ngayon, especially now na nagkaroon ng pandemic, mas mabagal pa yung nung registration procedure. I would surmise kasi siguro pagpasok mo pa lang or before ka pumasok, i-scan ka na ng temperature, etc.
Oo, oo, tama.
Yes, pero more or less nakaka-accommodate yung karamihan ng ating mga OEOs ng at least 300 a day. Yung iba, kung mas marami silang VRS or yung facility para sa registration, nakaka-accommodate sila na mas madami. And of course, nakakatulong din yan na
Nakaka-accommodate ang
nagkaroon tayo.
OEOs? OEO, sir, is ano po yun, Attorney
Office of
Francis?
the Election Officer
Okay.
of the city or the municipality. Ayan. So, ngayon na meron tayong mga satellite venues like malls, nakakatulong din yan para madagdagan yung ating mga applicants sa pwedeng i-accommodate in a day.
So, ang tao na ma-accommodate for voters registration would highly depend also kung gaano kalaki, kung doon sa facilities na meron yung certain office. So, the more like kung mas madami silang computers na gagamitin, mas madami din yung kanilang ma-accommodate. Tama ba, sir? So, yung 300 na sinasabi nila that we read on Facebook, na 300 lang daw yung na-accommodate per day, it would really depend kung gaano yung doon sa capacity or facilities ng isang office of the election officer. Tama po?
Yung 300, tama yun, Ange. Yung 300 kasi is a product of time and motion studies. Siyempre, pinag-aralan natin kung ilan ang kaya ng isang OEO in a day. Pero ngayon, since nag-increase tayo ng hours from 8 to 8, dati 8 to 5, tingin ko mas marami pa tayong maseserbisyuhan when it comes to registration.
Naku, busy pala ang ating COMELEC talaga. Hindi lang during yung regular working hours, but now you have extended it until 8 p.m. at pati Saturdays
And holidays.
pa kayo. And the holidays.
Yes, definitely all hands on deck talaga kami dito sa COMELEC.
Oo nga. And so thank you for having the time to share this with us, no, despite your business. So Sunday lang close or walang registration. Yun lang ang pahinga ng mga ating mga COMELEC personnel, no?
Yes, kailangan din magpahinga.
Kaya nga. Okay, sir, you've shared with us yung mga datos kanina, no? So we have more, our expected is 4 million, ngayon more than 7 million na yung mga new registrants. But ilan yung datos ng talagang boboto as of now, yung talagang boboto in next year's national election? If you have, sir, any statistics as to that, kung ilan talaga?
We do not know yet kung ilan yung voters turnout sa Mayo of 2022, lalo na may pandemic. So, with that, tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang ating voters education and campaign drives para at least mahikayat pa rin ang karamihan sa atin na bumoto pa rin despite na medyo matindi yung kakaharapin nating pagsubok come May 2022. Since tingin ko there will still be COVID-19. So, ayan, that is something na we still expect na mangyari. So, let's just be hopeful na maganda pa rin ang voter turnout natin just like in the past elections.
Yes. Ayun. Sir, so we've educated our viewers as to how to register, hanggang kailan yung registration period, and the importance of registering and voting. Now let's briefly discuss or educate our viewers by sharing with them some of the common election violations as well as the prohibited acts during the election period para maiwasan nila yung ganitong mga violation.
Okay, sige. there are so many election offenses sa ating batas kasi ang dami rin nating election laws. Main dyan yung Omnibus Election Code. So, if we're gonna discuss them all, you have to guess me for episode 3 until episode 10 siguro, no?
Oo
Pero
nga,
sige,
oo.
I
May
will
part
focus dun
2.
sa mga common election offenses na nangyayari during registration kasi we are talking about registration, no? So, making false statements or falsities in the application, no? Remember, I shared with you kanina na yung application for registration natin is a sworn application. So, under oath yan. So, if you make false statements doon, siyempre mapoprosecute ka, no? Kung if you lie about your age, ayan, hindi ka pala 18, below 18 ka pala, ayan. Or another would be kapag nagkakaroon ng double or multiple registration. Lalo na kung sinasadya mo talaga to register in more than one locality para makaboto ng more than once. Siyempre, that is another election offense committed during registration. So madami tayong mga classes of election offenses during filing of candidacy, during campaign, during voting, during canvassing, after the voting, yan, after proclamation, yan. Pero I think since marami talaga yung magiging new voters natin this coming elections, they should also bear in mind na prohibited or bawal yung pag-exhibit or pag-post ng contents ng kanilang ballot sa social
Bawal
media.
pala. Oo.
Definitely, oo. It's under our Omnibus Election Code, Section 195, prohibited yung act of exhibiting the contents of their ballot to others. Let's say, pinicturean
So,
nila
yung mga
yung
mahilig
kanilang accomplished ballot.
mag-Facebook.
Yes,
Oo.
oo. Or
Di
yung
ba yung
kahit
iba
yung
talagang
ballot
may
receipt
post?
mo, oo, makikita doon kung sino yung binoto mo and then you post it. Siyempre, that is prohibited. Definitely election offense yan. So,
Naku,
I understand
kailangan
naman na
kong
very
gawin.
eager talaga yung mga kabataan. I think yung mga kabataan, that includes us, Attorney Ange, no? So, tayo mga
Oo,
kabataan,
oo.
dapat kahit eager tayo sa pagboto this coming May 2022 elections, igalang pa rin natin ang sanctity and secrecy ng ballot. Wag nating i-post sa social media yung contents ng ating ballots. Kasi nangyari na to, if you recall, no? With a young love team sa ating showbiz, no? I think a couple of elections back, no? So, we have to avoid this. We have to respect the sanctity and the secrecy of every ballot.
I think that's a good reminder, especially now that everyone's into posting, di ba?
Yes, everyone's into TikTok, Instagram.
Oo, tama.
So, we expect na marami pa rin gustong i-post yung kanilang pagboto doon sa kanilang mga social media. And I don't think meron silang masamang intention naman. Pero syempre, that's bawal, no? Under sa batas natin.
Noted, Attorney Francis. Ayun. So we have the rundown, ano yung mga pwedeng maging election violations. So bawal maglagay ng mga hindi inaccurate na information during registration, and also kapag botohan na, kailangan secret yung iyong ballot. Huwag i-share sa ibang tao, diba? It should be private. And talking about privacy, Attorney Francis, sa voters registration, the COMELEC would be collecting a lot of information from the voters, including biometrics, diba? So I think it's important also, as my last question to you is, how safe is the information or yung mga personal information na kinolekta ng COMELEC para gamitin sa ating election?
Tama yan, Ange, no? When you register, collect yung certain personal information mo like age, sex, civil status, place of residence, and of course, lahat ng mga information na to ay protected information under our Data Privacy Act. Of course, ang COMELEC naman, we protect all this voter information na nakakalap natin. Yung ating mga database ay password protected and yung data are encrypted. Yung access to local database ay through the OEOs lang, yung mga election officers, and yung national list of registered voters or yung tinatawag natin na national database ay accessible lamang through our offices of the provincial election supervisor. So, protected yung ating voter information, rest assured. Yan, kasi ayan, ginagalang natin hindi lang ang karapatan ng lahat para bumoto, ginagalang din natin ang kanilang privacy and security.
Yes. So yun po, narinig nyo from Attorney Francis himself that your voters to registration, this information, these are not public records. Si COMELEC lang ang makakakita nito. At in fact, ang makikita nyo lang during voter, the day of the, sa botohan would be yung pangalan nyo at kung saan precinct kayo kailangang bumoto. Tama, Attorney Francis?
Yes, that's called the EDCVL, Election Day Computerized Voters List. Iyan yung mga pinopost sa sa ating mga precincts, sa ating mga venues ng botohan. And walang other personal information naman doon na makikita.
All right, thank you, Attorney Francis. That's 30 minutes full of information regarding the voters registration, our right to vote, and of course, yung mga anong kailangang iwasan ng ating mga viewers na prohibited acts during the election period. But before we end this very informative segment, do you have any closing remarks, sir, reminders for our viewers, or kung may babatiin ka? And if may concerns yung ating mga viewers, yung ating mga kababayan, how can they contact COMELEC, sir?
Okay. First of all, ang ating mga social media outlets ay bukas palagi for all your concerns. So, you can easily contact us. You can easily throw us whatever your concerns, especially dito sa ating registration through our various social media platforms, or you can contact our various offices. As for my message, let us just keep this short pero meaningful. Okay. Sa darating na election, vote wisely kasi nakasalalay sa atin ang future ng ating bansa, hindi lang during this pandemic, pero after the pandemic, when we rebuild, when we come back strong, kailangan natin ng mga strong, honest, diligent, persevering leaders to lead and man our country. And of course, binabati ko ang buong COMELEC, especially the Election and Barangay Affairs Department, ang mga directors namin, si Director Divina Blas Perez and si Director Francis Aguindadao Arabe. And sa lahat ng ating mga viewers, magandang gabi po ulit sa inyong lahat.
Ayun. So what I get from that is that it's not only enough to register and to vote, but to vote wisely. Ayun. So binabati ko din ang yung mga kasamahan sa COMELEC na talagang napakasisipag. Thank you, Attorney Francis, for being with us tonight. So there you go, Legalites, wag nating kalimutan na nasa kamay natin kung paano mapapabuti ang takbo ng ating bansa. So magparehistro, bumoto para sa bayan at piliin ang leader na may takot sa Diyos, accountable at uunahin ang kapakanan ng taong bayan. Legal Life will be right back. Don't go away.
Kaya pang magbago, may magagawa pa tayo. Sumali at makialam para sa ating bayan. Isigaw mo, Lakit na Pinas. Kaya magparehistro para makaboto para sa bukas. magparehistro para makaboto para sa bukas natin to. Look at the Pinas, atin ang isulong pagbabago Pilipino, kayang-kaya, kaya natin to. Look at the Pinas, kaya natin to. Look at the Pinas, look at the Pinas. Tayo magparehistro para makaboto dahil look at the Pinas.
So nagbabalik ang Legal Life, but before we continue, let's give shout outs sa ating mga viewers. But first, I would like to greet and say hello to Attorney Faye and Attorney Lyndon Rutor, who's been very instrumental sa ating pag-invite ng ating representative from the COMELEC. So we also say hi sa mga nanonood sa atin sa Kumu app where we are live, and hello also to Micaela Luis Cruz, and thank you for encouraging your friends to watch our show, and not only to watch but also to register and to vote. And hello also to Miss Angelina De Vera, who's also watching live now in FB. So hello also to Mr. Nelson Bitanya of QC, and to Attorney Renz Pagayanan, who's also watching live for us. Hello also to Mr. Rani Posadas, who's watching from Project 4 QC. Hello po, Uncle. All right, so that's it. Tayo po ay nagbabalik, and I am very excited to this next segment of Legal Life, because in celebration of the National Teachers Month, joining us now are two of your favorite law school professors, strong and independent women, full of life with their passion beyond the law profession. So, Legalites, let's welcome our first guest, Attorney Lulu Reyes, a litigator, a professor of law, National Bar Reviewer, among other roles. Good evening, Attorney Lulu. How are you?
Magandang gabi. Good evening to you, Ange, and to all those who are watching and following us in all your social media accounts. I'm glad to meet all of you at Boulder Channel, and I praise the good work that you're doing to popularize the law.
Thank you, Attorney Lulu. At bago natin umpisahan yung ating chikahan and kamustahan, let's call now yung isa pang independent woman and also law school professor na makakasama natin. We have Attorney Jerlyn Faye Oyost, valedictorian of San Sebastian College Recoletos, batch 2015, a litigation lawyer, also a law school professor, and a consultant at a bar review. Hello, Attorney Jerlyn.
Hi, Attorney Ange. Hi, Attorney Lulu. I'm very privileged to be here with you, with two amazing women. And hello din sa aking mga kapamilya and friends who are watching right now on Facebook and in Kumu. And thank you very much for your invitation.
Yes, and since naumpisan na natin ang kamustahan and greetings sa ating mga taga-subaybay, Attorney Lulu, I know that a lot of your friends and students and former students nagpalista na kung batiin mo sila, ma'am. So if you want to greet them now tonight.
Huge shout out to, of course, Attorney Wee, who I think you are friends with, Attorney
Yes.
Guzman, and then of course Mona, Attorney Mona, who's with the PAO, and Attorney Sok, who is IBP Pampanga president. They are both my former students, Attorney Louie Sahonia, and then Japoy, Attorney Jeff Exomo, and of course the whole of the batch 2012, 2013, and 2015 of St. Louis University School of Law. I have very fond memories with them, and I'm always proud of their successes.
Ayun. And also,
And
I would
sorry,
Mhm.
all the way pala to Tuguegarao, Attorney Tishane Magay Taginod, who is my classmate in San Beda Graduate School of Law.
Wow. So hello po sa inyong lahat, and Attorney Lulu, I would also greet a lawyer who's been who gave me insider's tip about you, si Attorney Gid Manandeng. Hello Gid. Good evening. I hope you are watching. So, Attorney Jerlyn, do you also want to greet your students, your families and friends? For sure sila ay nanonood and papanoorin nila yung ating episode.
For sure, nanonood yung pamilya ko. So, mga taga-Kabangkalan, Negros Occidental, especially my dad and my mom and my sisters who are watching, and my tita who's also streaming live. Kahit hindi siya marunong, nagsistream talaga siya. And to the San
Wow.
Sebastian Graduate School of Law and College of Law community, hello. Nahiya pa akong mag-advertise eh. Kaya, kasi first time ko mga ganito, mag-talk show, guest.
Oo.
Kaya yon.
I did the advertisement. I tagged you both doon sa aking Facebook
Yes, yes.
post. Oo. So I also want to greet, of course, my family. Oo, kasi nabanggit na lahat ng family. So hello also to my parents, to my siblings, at sa mga nanonood from Pangasinan and also from Baguio City. So
Can I do
now,
a quick shout out also?
sure.
May nalimutan ako, yung boyfriend ko na nanonood.
Oo nga.
Hello, Attorney Alden.
Yon, hello Alden, Attorney Luna, tama? Si Alden.
Yes.
Yes. So we greeted our viewers now, and let's go to the main objective ng ating segment, and that is to give our viewers a glimpse about the law profession. So yun kasi ang sabi nila, tayo daw mga lawyers, we are so stiff, 'di ba? Nakikita nila tayo laging naka blazer and laging stricto. But baka hindi lang talaga nila alam, no? So, to give them a glimpse of the law profession, can our guests please give us two of your most favorite things about being a lawyer? So, can we start with Attorney Lulu, ma'am?
I think ang sagot dito is common for both male and female lawyers. Being a lawyer gave me the tools for analysis and sharpened my logic and then reasoning abilities, and helped me greatly kung how to arrive at better decisions. Malaking bagay sa atin yung pag-organize ng facts and then analyzing them, discerning the best solution for a problem. So up to now, ako talaga convinced na law is still the most peaceful mode of dispute resolution, and I keep that in mind every time. That's my first favorite thing, and the bigger favorite thing about being a lawyer is being a woman in a male-dominated profession, because it allowed me to get in touch with other women judges, women lawyers in the private practice, women prosecutors, or yung public attorneys who were there before me and who had a harder time. Kasi alam naman natin, generations before, very few women were allowed into law schools. And now, as a law professor, and I've been teaching for 20 years, it really makes me happy that more than half of my classes are now women. And the legal profession is starting to take on a female face. So that's my favorite thing right now.
Wow, kung ako yung tinanong ng question na yon, hindi ko maiisip yung number one, and I wouldn't be as profound in discussing yung number two, but I agree. Those are the best parts of being a lawyer, especially Attorney Lulu, yung number one, yung it's also the training that you had in law school and as a lawyer is also geared toward personal development, because in your decisions in life, yun din yung ginagamit mo. You are critical, you are objective, di ba? You base your decisions on facts. So, ngayon nakikita ko na talagang napakaswerte ng iyong mga kliyente and the people around you if this is the way you decide. And of course, yun nga, being in a male dominated previously, sabihin kong previously because a lot of women are really lawyers, male dominated profession, and ipakita that women can also do it the way, in a great way, in a way na kung paano ginagawa ng mga kalalakihan, and we can be at par, our qualities are at par with them also sa law profession. Ayun, I'm sure Attorney Jerlyn also agrees with your two favorite things, but baka matweak na ng kaunti. Attorney Jerlyn, ano ang yung two favorite things about being a lawyer?
Ang hirap naman sundan yung sagot ni Attorney Lulu kasi nandun na lahat eh. And she composed it
Oo
in a
nga
way
eh.
na very palatable at ang sarap pakinggan, 'di ba? Siguro on a personal standpoint lang, this profession has helped me become a better communicator kasi before I was really an introvert, so I did not have the platform to really give myself or present myself to other people. So this job requires me to talk more, 'di ba? It requires us to talk more. So ayun, siguro that's one advantage or that's one good thing I want to as a lawyer. And also dun sa sinabi din ni Attorney Lulu, I felt it yung sinabi niya na there are more women now that are traversing this path, no? So siguro ang ano din doon, isang pwede kong madugtong is that being medyo young pa in the profession and being a woman, meron tayong element of surprise din siguro dahil sabi nga, we are very privileged that we are in a generation and in a society where women's individuality and empowerment is embraced and welcomed. But at the same time, there are instances talaga na we are underestimated by our male opposing counsels and even our clients. So that's where the element of surprise can be used in our favor. So yun, siguro it can be an advantage to us also na in-underestimate, tapos you come there prepared and you come there with a vision, tapos you're firm in your stand. So ayun, it can be an advantage for us also. Kaya yun.
I agree with you. And while you were discussing this, may mga pumapasok sa isip ko, some personal experience about being treated. Hindi ko naman sinasabing there's a discrimination, but being treated differently because you are a woman
Yes.
lawyer. But one thing that I am sure is that ang ating dalawang guests po dito, si Attorney Lulu and Attorney Jerlyn, these are lawyers that would inspire you to also enter the law profession. Kasi ako mismo, I am inspired by what they've shared with us earlier. So we've talked about your favorite things about being a lawyer, the good side. Ngayon naman, hindi natin napag-usapan that the practice of law also demands a lot from us. So we know this a lot a lot of most of the lawyers know this, yung rigorous demands ng law profession. So what do you do in order to achieve a work life balance as a lawyer? Do you have your habits or your activities that you can do to stay mentally healthy? And especially kay Attorney Lulu, because you are also a single mom. So it entails more, kaming dalawa ni Attorney Jerlyn, wala pa kaming mga anak. So we have more free time. But for you, how do you balance everything, Attorney Lulu?
Early on, sabi ko sa sarili ko, even as a woman, we can do everything. We can have everything, except that it should be in manageable proportions. Parang there should be no deterrent for us. So, one way for me to maintain yung so-called work-life balance is not to bother myself with trivial things, and then I manage my time. Kasi the only way to meet all of the demands of your profession, being a mother, being a daughter, being a sister, di ba? Lahat tayo may separate roles, marami yan. And they can put a strain on us if we are not able to manage yung demands. I think for many women, hindi lang sa women lawyers, the key is learning to say no. Learn to say no. Pag merong, di ba, unnecessary requests or demands yung clients, learn to say no kasi that's the only way you can control your time and your busy life. But even then, ako talaga, I always look at the task ahead and how to accomplish it, whether in those various roles. So, may mga times talaga na I keep refusing invitations or yung going out with others, yung friends. And those are not sacrifices on my part. Those are ways of managing my life. So yun lang, learning to say no, I think is a big key to balancing everything.
Wow. So it's time management, and of course sabi mo kanina, Attorney Lulu, knowing your goal at ano yung mga kailangan gawin in that goal. So kung may mga trivial things that wouldn't really add up to reaching yung goal na yan, tsaka muna kayo, 'di ba? Because we
Yes.
have a goal. And also learning to say no. Wow, that's really something that a lot of lawyers should learn. Learning to say no pag may humingi ng tulong pero wala ka talagang enough na time to accommodate, 'di ba? Because saying yes when you want to say no is of course a disservice also to yourself, 'di ba? And di
That's
mo
right.
din magagawa ng tama yung
Oo.
kailangan mong gawin. Thank you, Attorney Lulu. Wow. Umpisa pa lang ng ating usapan, ang dami na nating nakuha. How about you, Attorney Jerlyn? How do you achieve this work-life balance as a lawyer, law school professor?
Ako,
'Di ba? Daughter, a fiancé. Oh, wow.
I'm taking down notes lang from Attorney Lulu. Parang yun na yun eh. But siguro ako naman, it's a conscious effort eh. It's a deliberate effort on your part to really manage your time and give time for your family, for your friends, for your hobbies, for yourself. Because tamang yung sinabi nila na work is not everything, 'di ba? There is, your life is not supposed to be focused on your work. While a big part of your time is your work, it should not be the main focus. No, you work to live a fuller, a much a better life, but it's not everything. So yun yung palagi kong iniisip kasi there was a point na I was always in a hurry. I was always in a hurry to do things, to achieve things. Feeling ko I don't have enough time kasi I have this goal. I have so many goals in life, but then I took a pause and I said, what's the meaning behind all of this? Why am I such in a hurry? I have a great God. I have a great family. I have a very nice friends, and these are people that are there to support me every step of the way, no matter if I achieve my goal or not. So yun, siguro yun yung mga realizations ko na I make it a point to deliberately choose or consciously choose the people I love over work sometimes. Kaya yun. Syempre, learning to say no.
Wow.
Gaya
So
din ni Attorney Lulu.
yes. So being intentional in the things that you do, and while yung work, it gets most of your time, but it doesn't mean that it's the most important part of your life, because of course there are parts or aspects of your life that you can and you should not sacrifice, diba, for your work. So we're learning a lot. You've also shared with us that you have your hobbies also that keeps you sane, diba, to after the to keep you sane. amidst the rigorous demands by the law profession. So can you share with us your other passions aside from teaching the law and practicing the law? What activities do you do outside of your work as a lawyer? Attorney Lulu?
And nako, ito na, magkakabukuhan na.
Nako.
Actually, my life as a lawyer, ano yan, that's just one aspect of my life. So, I also do, in my spare time and pre-pandemic, I hike at least twice, 3 times a year.
Wow.
So, ano yan, I make it a point talaga. And I have a very good group of friends, including si Gid, that we plan things ahead. So, unfortunately, this pandemic, medyo hindi na kami nakaka-trekking. Sometimes we went all the way, for example, to Batanes just to trek the tallest mountain there. Mga ganyan. Kasi it relieves us of yung pressure and tension. So, taking that. And then, recently, I discovered yung K-dramas, yung mga ganyan. So, very entertaining yan. But then later on, you realize watching K-dramas make you weep for Filipino films kasi yung degree of quality, diba, that we have. We have a lot to catch up on. And then I read. I read poetry. I read fiction. I think that's also one way of balancing yung intellectual demands ng legal profession with your creative side, and it's one way to maintain one's sanity in this crazy profession that we are in. I cook. I also garden. Meaning I maintain hobbies, and I'm a serial hobbyist. May mga times na may time before na I was into painting, and then I got tired of it, so I look for another pursuit. It's something like that. So that's my kind of personality. So if something interests me, I pursue it. If I get tired of it, I'll look for something else. It's for fun, just for fun.
Yes, and I can see that you're having fun with those hobbies because as you relay it to us, pati ako na nakikinig, ang saya ko thinking about the things that you do. And I would like to comment doon sa K-drama because I also watch it. But let's have another conversation for that because haba yung ating usapan kung K-drama yung ating papanoorin. But yes, I think hiking, being close to nature pre-pandemic, of course, because may mga restrictions ngayon, that's really a good hobby, di ba? You being close to nature and seeing the goodness of God in giving us this
True.
beautiful nature. And yeah,
Travel,
K-drama.
actually.
Yeah,
diba?
I agree with that. Yeah, it keeps me sane also, Attorney Lulu.
Oo.
I agree. So,
I think all of us
diba?
miss travel these days, di ba? Yung traveling, kasi that's really one big pleasure na we all indulge in
Now we
from time to
travel.
time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we travel by reading books and watching K-dramas because of the
Oh,
series that
this
we
pandemic has made us all
there.
mental travelers.
Kaya nga. We're good now at being mental travelers. How about you, Attorney Jerlyn? Ikaw naman, ano yung mga hobbies? I see it from yung background. I think
Eto na.
I know
Eto
what's
na
one of
yun.
your hobbies.
Okay, so from then on pa, gusto ko na talaga manood ng anime. So yan yung go-to pampalipas oras ko. So I watch anime, I watch K-dramas. Dati hindi pa uso yung K-pop and K-dramas. Sobrang na-addict ako doon. And then pre-pandemic, months before the pandemic, my then suitor, now boyfriend, we started this hobby. So we started collecting toys. So ito yung mga toys na kino-collect namin. And then I also read books, but hindi ako masyado sa poetry, doon ako sa mga romance novels kasi doon ako na kinikilig, nawawala yung yung isip ko sa work. So more on fictional and romance novels, and then anime and collecting toys. Yan yung hobby ko. And then, of course, before pandemic, also travel. So ngayon, I substitute it by watching travel vlogs kahit na mga luma na. So, para maalala ko, ay, ito yung gusto ko palang puntahan. So, ayun. And you know, places I look forward to visiting in the future.
Oo nga, nabanggit ni Attorney Lulu yung Batanes. Parang magandang mag-Batanes, Jerlyn, ano? Di ba? After pandemic, we
Yes.
go to Batanes.
Yes,
Wow!
sana.
Jerlyn, since andyan na, since andyan na yung mga toys mo, can you show us what's your favorite toy there? Andyan ba? Ano yung favorite collection mo dyan? Meron ka bang favorite or everyone's, you treat them as the same? Favorite mo silang lahat?
Ayokong pumili kasi it would be unfair
baka
for
may
the
magpapagay,
characters.
oo.
Ganun ako ka-loyal sa mga characters, no? Fictional as they may be.
Oo.
Siguro yung yung pinaka-valuable na lang, eto, yung...
Okay, yes,
I don't
yes.
know if you can see. Eto. Si Dabby from My
What's
Hero
that?
Academia. It's a Funko Pop. Tapos, eto na lang, sige, eto. Kasi eto yung recent purchase ko pagkatapos feeling ko nag-splurge ako dito. So, ayun. This is a Nandoroid of Demon Slayer. So, this is a special edition Nandoroid of Tanjiro Kamado of Demon Slayer. So, for anime fans out there, shout out to you all because I'm also a fan. So, eto siya. Nahiya tuloy ako.
Wow! Diba? No, you know, I know a lot of lawyers who collect Funko Pop also. Diba? And
Yes!
they are really
We
as
bond
passionate
over our
like
collection.
you. Diba? In sharing.
Yes!
Yes!
Kino-compute ko,
Oo.
thousands na yata yung worth ng shelf niya. Di ba?
Oo.
Hindi naman. I try to
Diba?
limit my purchases po.
Ganyan lang talaga pag may passion ka, di ba?
Yes.
Yung iba pino-vault pa nila, di ba, Jerlyn? Yung kanilang collection.
Yes.
They would vault it.
Oo, kasi the
Oo.
prices of some of these stickered pops usually go high as the years go by. So, si Alden, my boyfriend, he has a set of the first set of Friends, yung first wave ng Friends na Funko Pop, and the price now, the purchasing power now goes up to around 30,000 for 6 pops.
For the
So,
whole set.
6 lang sila for the whole set, and then it's 30,000, and nabili niya lang yun 2017 ata for 600 each, 'di ba? So ayun.
Wow!
Yes,
Grabe.
may ganon.
So yun po, sa ating mga viewers, you see us lawyers having this hobbies, and you know, I also share the love for anime with Attorney Jerlyn. Yung huling nag-post siya, loyal siya kay Tamahome. Ako din loyal ako.
Yeah.
Kung magkaklase kami nito nung elementary kami, nako, nag-away kami kung sinong girlfriend ni
Nagsabunutan na
Tamahome.
tayo.
Oo. But now, sa K-drama, K-drama na ako makikipag-agawan din with Attorney Lulu, di ba? Ayun, we see we are all mental travelers. That's something also that we share. Both of us share in common. Mental travelers na tayo ngayon. So now, since it's National Teachers Month, let's talk about the joys and challenges of being a law school professor. Attorney Lulu, what can you share about this?
When I started teaching, kasi kailangan ko lang talaga ng racket, di ba? Additional na. But I came into teaching na walang pedagogical philosophy, walang ganung kalalim na perspektiba. Ang gusto ko lang, I will teach law better than I was taught the law. Di ba? Kasi pare-pareho tayo. We want to improve on how we learn the law inside the classroom. So I wanted to improve on that. Later on ko na lang na-realize what are certain gaps or weaknesses. So every time, parang teaching is something that it's learning by doing. So every year or every time I learn something new, and that's why I adjust my teaching style. But yun, ang challenge palagi sa akin is how to elicit the best from my students. And it's not just yung, kasi tayong mga lawyers, di ba? We were taught to love the text or the language of the law. But I always try to imbibe in my students that the law does not operate in a vacuum. Hindi siya inert, hindi siya letters lang kasi it operates on a larger scale. Mas malaki yung social context ng law, and that law is just part of social sciences. Kaya in my classes, palagi akong merong komentaryo. Hindi ko ma-resist talaga yung sarili ko. Meron talaga yung comment about the place of women when I teach persons and family relations. Merong comment yan about government contracts, but when I teach obligations and contracts, succession, kung bakit ganyan yung law on property, di ba, how it passes. So, mga ganyang perspektiba. So that hopefully, they can question. Kasi yun ang palagi kong objective, is not just to teach the law, it is for my students to question the law itself. Kasi maraming ramifications that went into legislation, and therefore, as future leaders, dapat alam nila kung paano yung contesting what the law is so that it can be improved later on. So yun ang palaging challenge. But like a mother, I'm always happy pag pumapasa. Every year yan, I look forward to yung paglabas ng results ng bar examination, and I'm like their mother na very happy whenever they pass. I also cry whenever some of them do not make it. Yung mga ganong sentiments, it's one of the perks of being a law professor kasi you come in contact with them, not just on a professional level, but there is always a personal side to teaching. So you get to know them not just as students, but also as human beings. And you see their evolution as professionals and as human beings later on. Parang they become better persons all in all.
Oo. You know, Attorney Lulu, your answer is very consistent doon sa sinabi mong your favorite part of being a lawyer, because you say in your class you encourage them to question the law, which is, sabi mo kanina, critical thinking is something that is the most enjoyable in being a lawyer. And also, hindi lang, kasi kung yung law lang, nasa libro naman yan, but you encourage them really to question the law, how to apply it, di ba? You are preparing them doon talaga sa totoong law practice. Kasi yan ang laging, nung ako unang naging lawyer, sabi ko, iba pala yung nasa libro sa totoong buhay, sa law practice, di ba? So, you're preparing your students.
Yes, Attorney Angie, ang palagi kong perspektiba is this, di ba? Ang training dapat ng law professors for their students is not just for them to render individual justice, halimbawa pa when they represent clients, but also to participate in social justice. Hindi pwedeng technician ka lang to repair wrongs done to a particular person, pero dapat you're able to advocate for certain changes in society. Mga ganong nebulous idea na marami naman pwedeng i-concretize in many ways.
I agree with you. Yes, and I think a lot of law school professors also who are watching now would really agree with that, at pwede pa nilang i-adapt yung ganoong klaseng mentality in teaching the law to our future lawyers. How about you, Attorney Jerlyn? What are your joys and challenges also in being a law school professor?
Sabi ko nga kanina, pang hirap naman sundan ng mga sagot ni Attorney Lulu. Nandun na lahat. Oo nga, ano ba yan? Nandun na lahat.
Hindi ko din masundan yun eh.
Feeling ko tikang-tika ako dito.
Very experienced po. Ganun na lang.
Another way of saying, lola na.
Hindi naman po. You don't look that old po. Ano ba kayo? You look very young. Anyway,
and passionate about the law.
Naman, siguro, and passionate, yes. Ako naman, I was given the privilege to teach early on in my career, no? So, as cliche as it may sound, being a part of someone's journey who has the same dreams you had from before is really fulfilling. So, right now, nasa stage pa ako that I'm cementing and I'm cementing kung ano yung natingin ko na okay na ways to teach. I'm also in the experimental stage on ano yung mga hindi effective, ano yung effective ways, especially now na nasa virtual classrooms na tayo. It brings me joy, but at the same time it's exhausting not to teach. But at the end of the day, it's you really being in a position to help someone kahit papano, no, kahit in a little way, achieve their dreams of becoming a lawyer. I was once that person, eh. And I thank my professors who had helped me along the way and made me who I am today. So ganun din siguro na feeling ang gusto kong mabigay sa mga estudyante ko din. Kaya ayun. Gusto
Yeah,
kong maging attorney Lulu din in the future,
Oo nga
no?
eh. I second
Very,
the
very
motion.
near future.
Oo nga. You know it, that's really good that once one of the greatest joy of being a law school professor is also being instrumental in helping other people reach their dream in being lawyers, and not only as lawyers but great and brilliant lawyers who would really respect the law, 'di ba? Because that's the way we like to be teached also. Ganun tayo naturuan eh, 'di ba? That's why now we are advocates of the law. Wow. So that's a lot to process, really very really informative. But bago 'yan, tayo po ay babati. Madami tayong sabi ni Attorney Mark Guantigue, who's my batchmate in San Beda, ang interesting naman ng topic today. Yan, for sure interested siya doon sa mga sa travels and yung Funko Pop collections also ni Attorney Jerlyn. And from I Medina, who's my tita from New Zealand, watching from New Zealand. Hello. I am having a good time watching. I have a smile plastered on my face. Anime and toys for the win. 'Di ba? Wow, oo. Nung years ago, kaming dalawa ng tita ko nagda-download kami sa internet. Dial up pa ng internet noon eh, yung mga animes, usapang animes, Ghost Fighter, mga ganyan. So, hello to my tita in New Zealand and my family there. So there, to connect our first segment and our this lifestyle segment of legal life. So let me ask you also, and as the way of educating and helping our viewers in choosing the leaders of our country in the next year's May election. Can you share with us the top two characteristics that you think the next president of the country should have in order to to have an orderly country and to improve our situation? Attorney Lulu?
Number one palagi sa akin, in all fields, but especially for those in government, integrity. Kasi integrity of character maintains yung public trust ng office. And it's, unfortunately, yun yung palaging nagpa-fall short ang ating, some of our government officials right now. So integrity, that's the first I look for. The second is, siguro, kailangan natin ng leader na visionary, has a vision for a better Philippines, not just during his or her term, pero yung years after that, generations that will follow, and is able to inspire others to join that vision. So I think yun yung pinaka-importanting qualities ng good leader, and hopefully we can choose one in 2022 with those qualities.
Yes, so that's integrity, and of course, the president should be a visionary because his vision would really play the biggest part, 'di ba, for a better Philippines, for a better country. So we take note of that, Attorney Lulu. I'll keep that in mind also while voting, 'di ba, in May 2021 election, 2022 election. How about you, Attorney Jerlyn?
Siguro, aside from what Attorney Lulu had said earlier, Number one would be the genuine desire to really lead the people. Kasi we need that from our leaders eh. People who really want what's best for the Filipinos, for our country. Number two would be not just the desire to lead, no matter how genuine it is, dapat yung leader natin should be backed up by the technical know-how, may experience din in how things work. And just like at what Attorney Lilu said, dapat may longevity yung projects, 'di ba? Merong visionary kasi dapat yung projects would last hindi lang for the term but for the years na after the term, 'di ba? It's not about the person or nor the office, 'di ba? It's about the work that comes during and after the election. Kaya ayun.
Well, again, that you say that the next president should be a visionary and hindi lang yung may desire to serve the country but also well equipped, 'di ba? Because you may
Yes.
have the desire to serve, but if you are not equipped enough, 'di ba? You can only go this far, 'di ba? So thank you very much for sharing with us your time. We learned a lot at kung pwede lang mag-extend. Ako gusto ko pong mag-extend but we have our next shows after this. So I hope we the pandemic ends and we see each other in person and tuloy natin yung ating chikahan. So if please
Yes.
invite our legalites kung meron po kayong online trainings or online events, invite niyo po sila.
Aside from Facebook, I have no other social media accounts, Attorney Ange. Now, meaning for my mental health, I minimize my social media presence. But anyway, what I'd like to invite the audience to is to keep watching the Boulder Channel and Legal Lights.
Thank you.
Follow this program kasi it helps in popularizing and educating many of us in the what we feel are rigorous aspects of the law, but they are simplified in this program. So I congratulate everyone behind this. Attorney Andrew doing a great thing for this effort. So, and syempre, to all my students in St. Louis University School of Law, humanda kayo sa recit.
Oo nga. Hello to the students of Attorney Lulu. So dapat nag-aaral sila no habang ginagawa natin yung show. Sila nanonood and nag-aaral. Humanda daw kayo sa recit. Thank you very much Attorney Lulu for
Thank you. I'm glad
acknowledging
to meet you.
yes, and for acknowledging also the work of the Boulder channel because they're not only the show but they're really doing a great job on educating people about other industries also. Attorney Jerlene, how about you? You invite our viewers sa yung mga gigs or yung sa yung mga events.
My social media accounts are private for personal use only, but you can follow our page sa San Sebastian Recoletos Manila Graduate School of Law for those interested. Nag-plug na no using this time to plug in the our Graduate School of Law. Tapos I want to thank also the Boulder Channel and Attorney Ange for inviting me and having the privilege to talk with Attorney Lulu and you. A fun fact, kami kasi ni Attorney Ange, we met as opposing counsels in one case. So, yun.
Yes. One
Lawyering, the
Ang
profession.
dami, 5 cases ata yun. 5 cases.
Yes. Yes. So lawyering is not as rigid, is not a parang war zone kumbaga. So you can meet friends and like-minded people in the profession. And thank you also to Legal Life kasi you're humanizing lawyers. So you're changing the perspectives of people when it comes to lawyers and giving a platform for female lawyers to share the experience and the joys of the profession. Also, shout out again sa mga estudyante ko din sa San Sebastian.
Oo nga. Thank you also, attorney Jerlyn, ano. And you know that's true. We met each other as opposing counsels, but at the end of the day, we became friends because we share something in common, and that is being
Yes.
advocates of the law, di ba? And passion for the law practice. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving us your time. So
Thank
ayun po.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, Attorney
you.
Jerry, Attorney Lulu, and to all our viewers. Hindi ko na nabasa lahat yung kanilang mga comments. Ang dami. Ayun. So for sponsorship and collaborations, if you want to feature your firm or your brands, please email boulderchannelph@gmail.com and follow our socials at the Boulder Channel. And don't miss Negocentials with Ellen Samano next week, 6 p.m. So I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Next week si Miss Ellen Samano naman, and she will talk about negosyo, 'di ba? Tutulungan niya kayo mag-put up ng inyong mga negosyo. So stay tuned for Curve TV at 7:30 p.m. with Architect Patch after Legal Life. So again, everyone, thank you Attorney Lulu and Attorney Jerlyn. My name is Ange Medina, and you've just watched another episode of Legal Life, the boldest legal magazine show online. Dito lang sa The Boulder Channel. So remember, try your best to do the things right the first time, but if it doesn't work as planned, there may not be do-overs, but surely there will be some lessons learned. So salamat at stay safe, everyone. See you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.